Okay, so this should be a relatively short video and probably not a lot of content. Um, I noticed something very concerning about this a couple days ago. I kind of had it off to the side when I was doing the paint stuff, and I noticed that the edge here and here were starting to lift up a little bit. And of course, those were just stuck together with like spray adhesive. So either when I put the spray adhesive on, I was holding the can too far away and it didn't go on wet enough, or maybe I didn't let it dry long enough before sticking it together, because you're supposed to spray it on, let it dry for 5 minutes or more, and then stick it together. I might have waited 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, it felt okay. Um, or it could just be that that particular spray adhesive I was using is garbage. I don't know. Now, if I just grab it and like tug on it, it doesn't come apart. And when it did lift up, I could just press it back together and it would stay for a couple of days and it would start lifting up again. So, yeah, that's obviously got me a little bit concerned, because I don't want to give this to my friend and then, a few months down the road, the seams are all just falling apart. So I decided to do something I really didn't want to do, and that is to sew it, to stitch it. Now, I've commented before that I have seen other people stitch it, and I didn't think it looked that good. I think the problem that I've seen, now don't get me wrong, some have looked perfectly fine. Um, I think if done properly would look good. I was just concerned about doing it properly myself. Um, Now I'm hand stitching it. I've got just a little needle and thread here. I'm hand stitching it because I'm not that good with the machine, and I was afraid that running this through an actual sewing machine, the little feet that move it along might start to pull the seams apart. I didn't know if it would be able to get the stitches tight enough or close enough, because again, theoretically, the stitches should be like an eighth smaller than real stitches. I don't know. So I decided to hand stitch it, and I just wanted to put a video out just because if I don't put one out now, it'll probably be another 2 or 3 weeks before I get one out, and I didn't want you guys to think that I forgot about the project. Um, and plus, my work just got fairly busy. I'm going to be fairly swamped for the next 3 weeks or so. So I don't know when I'll get a chance to get another video out. And now that I decided to sew this, it's really slowed down. So I just wanted to give you guys an update where I was, what's going on, and a few tips, pointers about sewing. Now, if you don't want to sew yours, the instructions even said that it's better if you can sew it. They said glue it, but if possible, sew it. I think the glue that would be better, you can get a can that's like contact cement. It comes in a can, you put it on with a brush. And I know that stuff works like really well. I don't have any. I should have bought that. I assumed the spray adhesive would have been good enough, but I'm afraid that when I start fitting this, when I start putting it on the frame, I'm going to be pulling and tugging a bit, and I don't want to pull that loose. So I'm only going to sew these seams that will be stressed. Other seams I'm not going to sew. I'll just get some of that contact cement, that brush on adhesive stuff, and when I get that, I'll show you what it looks like. So for now, just to give you a few little how I'm sewing this. First off, normally when you thread a needle, or normally when I thread a needle, I run the thread through and out, so I end up with two threads. And so when you sew around, when you're sewing, you have like two threads you're pulling through. I'm only using one thread. I put the thread through. I don't even know if you're going to be able to see that or not. I put the thread through once and just tied it into a knot around the eye of the needle. So I'm only using one thread instead of two. I think if I did two threads, maybe that would be too much, too visible. If we take a look at the progress so far, it's not horrible. I'm gonna put a lens on here, see if I can get closer. And I don't know how well this thing works. I just got this on eBay for a couple bucks, and bear with me here. It'll be blurry at first. but hopefully be able to zoom into this. How's that look? Not too bad. All right, so the way I'm doing it, the way I'm doing this is, yeah, I started from the bottom and pushed the needle up. I'm trying to get that to focus better. I started from the bottom and pushing the needle up. And each thread, you can see here there's kind of like in the fabric, there's like peaks and valleys. Each thread goes from a valley to a valley. And from here to here, and that's how I'm keeping my spacing right, because a lot of the ones that I've seen that didn't look very nice, it's because they were very inconsistent with the thread length. And one would be like really short, the next one would be like twice as long, and the thread length wasn't very consistent. And I think that's one thing that really makes them not look good. So each thread is from a valley, skipping one into the next, so 2 peaks between threads, and that actually makes that about a 1/16 of an inch long. So I've got about 16 stitches per inch. And so I go up from the bottom, and then I go back down into the same hole. To come up in the right spot, what I'll actually do, and I'll just show you here, I'm ready for that now. So my thread is coming out of the bottom now. So what I'll do is I'll come over here, and again, so I skip one, and I'm going to come down into here, and about 2 threads over, so right about here, I'll push the needle in from this side, and I'll push it in from this side, and this is like really hard sticking the needle in. That fabric is really, it doesn't seem like it, but that fabric is actually fairly thick. So I'll stick it in just until it starts poking through. Take a look at the back side here. So it just started poking through right here. And so now when I pull the needle out, I can see it leaves that little hole where it's supposed to go in. So I just stick it back in that same hole. Like that. And then stick it back down the same hole here where it came from. I should have gone in easier. Right there. Right there. And it is really hard pushing that needle through. And that's it. That's one stitch. Now it leaves a hole, but it actually, after working with the fabric a bit, those holes close right up. And yeah, I'm zoomed in probably like 15 times or more. When I first started, a few of them got off a little bit, like that one right here. That one got real way off, but that end will get folded over a bit, anyways. So I think it's looking okay. Let me take this off. Just looking at it normal size. And I think it's looking okay. There's a little area here that got a little bit weird, but the last inch that I did, I think I'm kind of getting into the groove a little bit. And see if I can focus on that a little bit better. There we go. That looks better. So, I think I'm getting the groove. I think I'm getting the hang of it. It's just very time consuming. Yeah, don't look at those. Those are terrible looking. But, as long as your spacing is the same and consistent, it comes out okay. And then when I'm fitting this onto the frame, as I'm pulling and tugging and stuff trying to fit it, I don't have to worry about that popping loose. It's just that I've done, what is that, 8 inches? That's 1, 2, I've done 3 inches so far. And I've done 3 inches, and I probably have 9 more to go. It's just very, very time consuming. So that's what I'm doing. That's where I'm at. Uh, that will give the clear coat on the car just more time to cure. I decided to follow the directions on applying this, and basically, um, well, I need to fit this a little bit better. So I need to put the frame on the car, fit this a little bit better just to see where. What I want to do is I want to fit it on temporarily, because I want to see where the window opening is here, because the way the instructions say to do it, they say after it's all on and good, then fold this seam back here to match the curve of the windows. Well, what I want to do is temporarily install it and mark out the curve of the window, take it back off, and then fold that around, because I just think it'd be a whole lot easier to fold that around here on the bench rather than on the car. And once that's done, then I will wet sand and polish the car and then put this on for good. But I need to get this all stitched up first, so it's going to take me a while. So be patient. I'll be back in a couple of weeks, I hope, with another update video, show you what it looks like. And yeah, until then, as always, thanks for watching.